Hi Dixons, I'm Jim Lauder, Trust Assistant Principal for Civic Responsibility, and I'm here today at Dixon's Ollerton Academy, which is the site of one of our really exciting new community hubs. And I just want to give a bit of an overview and a bit of an update today around our work on civic responsibility. Now, we know our mission is to challenge educational and social disadvantage in the North. And we know for us to achieve our mission, we have to give our children the best provision in the classroom, the best teaching and learning, the best curriculum. But that by itself is necessary but not sufficient in order for us to achieve our mission. We also have to work with our communities and work with our partners to break down barriers to educational attainment in the cities that we serve. And that's what our civic responsibility work is all about. There are three strands to our civic responsibility work at Dixon's. First of all, building power and building voice for our communities and taking a real asset-based approach to the work that we do. And we do that through our work in part with Citizens UK and with the Brilliant Club and the Parent Power programme. The second strand is around making sure our families can get what they need from school. Yes, educationally, but also providing the support they might need in terms of necessities for home, but also in terms of working with other services to make sure our families get the different support they need from the AHS, from DWP, or from other local charities or community groups. And the third strand is working with our partners in a place-based way in local convening partnerships to make sure we're taking collective decisions and breaking down barriers across different agencies to ensure that the people who need the most support are getting that support that they need. So I'm going to talk about each of these in turn. First of all, our partnership with Citizens UK is going from strength to strength. Before Christmas, in Liverpool, students from Dixon's Fazakerley joined the Liverpool Citizens Founding Assembly, where they put Regional Mayor Steve Rotherham on the spot and grilled him about issues that are important to them. It was really, really pleasing to see the work that had been done and to see our students standing alongside other important figures in our community to make sure that the people of Liverpool have a voice. In Manchester, Dixon's Brooklyn students are going to be joining the Manchester Citizens Delegates Assembly to make sure that the voices of people in Wythenshawe are heard and their priorities are put front and centre. In Bradford, in a few weeks' time, we're going to have a Bradford Citizens Together event where students from across the trust come together with students from other trusts to talk about what they want to see change in the city, building on the successful work that we did last year. And in Leeds, we have a vibrant, thriving citizens group at Dixon's Unity, based out of Unity Community. We're also working with the Brilliant Club to establish Parent Power chapters across the North. Parent Power gives parents a voice in their children's education by allowing them to organise and break down barriers to educational attainment where they live. And in Bradford, we've established Bradford Parent Power that's based initially with the 3 schools on Trinity Road. I'm really pleased that Bradford Parent Power is already one of the largest Parent Power chapters in the country, with over 100 parents signed up. And their first campaign is going to be around expanding access to tuition for students who need it. So the second strand of our work is around our thriving community hubs. These are positive institutions in our communities that provide support to our families, but also provide places where families and staff can come together and talk about what is really important at that moment. We've got thriving community hubs at Dixon's Marchbank, Dixon's Manningham, Dixon's Unity, and we've recently had hubs open at Dixon's Ollerton, Dixon's Fazakerley, and now at Dixon's Broad Green. That's an incredible achievement, but it's brilliant. We've also got more community hubs coming in the pipeline elsewhere across our network. These hubs provide basic necessities for families that sadly are all too often needed. But they also provide locations where we can deliver other public sector services. NHS appointments, DWP appointments, to make sure we are making things easier for our families in order to break down the barriers that those families face to being successful, to their children thriving in school and in life. We want to continue that work, and we want to make sure those community hubs are really responsive to the needs of the communities that they serve. That's why increasingly our community hubs are having parent steering groups taking a leadership role in terms of what happens in those hub locations and the services and supports that are delivered through these institutions. It's been great to see schools embracing that model. We want that to continue, but we also want to take another step to make sure that our community hubs are targeting support at the families that need it most, so that our community work and our academic work is really aligned. to get to that point where what we're doing to support families outside school, we can see the impact that it's having on young people in the classroom and their achievement. The third strand of our civic responsibility work will also help us with that. The third strand is around building local convening partnerships where key agencies from the public sector, but also from the community and voluntary sector, can come together around the same table to make decisions about where to best direct resource. We have this in Bradford with our Educational Alliance for Life Chances that is supporting our work locating NHS services in the community hub at Dixon's Allerton, as well as supporting with a wide range of initiatives across the city. We've also had some really positive talks about establishing an Act Locally convening partnership in Armley, and that is going to be a really positive next step. And we also want to join with others in Liverpool and Manchester who have that same aspiration. There are lots of civic structures already that perform that sort of role that we can join in with and make the most of. But where those structures don't exist or those structures aren't quite doing that job, we want to work with others to build those structures. There's no reason why a family should have to engage with school, with the NHS, with DWP separately. If you're a family in difficult circumstances, that is really disempowering, because not only do you have to spend a lot of time doing that, but also you're accepting what other people are doing to you, what those systems are saying you have to do and what boxes you have to fit into. We want to flip that dynamic around. And if our families have a voice through our work with Citizens in the UK and with the Brilliant Club, if we have thriving institutions in our community hubs, and if we have the right people around the right tables to make the right decisions, that gives our families more power. And ultimately, we can get to a situation where our families are saying, well, we want this support from the NHS, we want this support from DWP, and this is how we want to make our community better. And in that way, we are challenging educational and social disadvantage in the North. Thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe and hope to see you soon.